Hello, folks. Welcome back. I am Jon Najarian, and this is today's version of 3 at 3. 3 at 3, we bring you unusual option activity. I've been busy with CNBC and getting ready for our big webinar tonight, which I will tell you about, and you still have time to register. But some 240,000 of you have already viewed the video, so good luck. If you don't register right now, you're probably not going to get in. But please do enjoy today's presentation of 3 at 3 for July 21st. Our disclaimer is that this is being presented for informational and educational purposes only, and our intellectual property rights include, but are not limited to, copyright, trademark, patents, and so forth. So please don't just take our intellectual property and use it in a commercial venue. Share it with your friends by all means. All right, let's take a look. Well, Apple, we talked about those 90,000 July 145 calls yesterday, and stock made that very nice pop to and through 147 yesterday. Now it's down about $1 as of that slide there, but as you see, right in the more or less middle of today's range. These were options that expire this week. And you guys know that I always say, for an option that expires in days, you need to be very quick. So I think somebody's timing was pretty darn shrewd when they bought those calls yesterday, and the stock moved up to 145. Then when it moved up to 147, I can't pull the trigger for you. I did pull the trigger for me. And what I did was took that position off. Now I am still long Apple, and I'm short at the money and out of the money calls, because as many of you know, I ladder my calls. By laddering, I mean, I am short 4 weeks every single month. I am short the front week, the next week, the following week, and a month out calls. Why do I do it that way? I do it that way against my Apple stock because I get more of a return by laddering. Now, if the market was going down and down and down, if it's just tumbling, yeah, then laddering probably doesn't do you so well. But on the other hand, since I like to get the fastest decay working for me, I like selling the front week, front 2 weeks, front 3 weeks, and then all the way out to a month. And then I just roll them as the front week comes off. I roll it out to a month into the future, and so on and so forth. Rinse and repeat. You guys get the idea. Just kind of pointing out that yesterday's trade was a pretty good one. So was this one in Carnival Cruise Line. Stock was what? $40? No, $20.42. 13,000 of the July 21 calls changed hands. We bought. Where'd that go? Well, let's see. It's up 9% today. 23.16, near the highs of the day. We have the right to buy it at 21. And so these are deep in the money. And keep in mind, these are options that expire next week. So knowing what I just told you about Apple, what do you think I did? I have taken off all of my 21 calls. Now, because these options expire next week, I have rolled up. So what did I do there? I sold my 21 calls that expire next week, rolled up to the 23 calls. Now I did that because that way I pulled a lot of money off the table, and I have set myself up should the stock go further into next week, because I always like paying attention to the time frame that the smart money used when they entered the trade. So that's what I did in this case. Bang. Take a look also at Boeing, because stock was 210 yesterday, folks, 210 and 10 cents. You know, if you watched me on the halftime report, that it was 214 at that time. So somebody missed out on $4 of upside. But did it stop there? No. And by the way, again, those were options that expire this week. So how did it do? Well, stock ran to 224 today. So since they were buying the 215 calls at 224, those calls are worth $9. So you took, now I didn't sell the top. I know haters out there love to point to things For instance, even when Pete and I do this on live TV, they like pointing, oh yeah, sure, John bought these and now he naturally took profits at that level. You can hate if you want, folks. All I am telling you is we got in yesterday to these calls, the 2:15 calls that expire on Friday, got into those calls for, I think, $1.50 thereabouts, and got out of them for $7.50 and $8 today. And did I roll out? No. Why didn't you roll out, John? Because these options expired in 2 days. So I would roll out if they were further out in time. If the smart money was buying out in July 30th, I would roll up and out. That's not what smart money was doing. Smart money nailed it and made a bunch of dough on this trade. I want to follow the smart money. If they start buying out next week, and they have started today doing that, then I would add to it. Right now, no position in Boeing after what I'm telling you right now, 0 position. But they are starting to percolate up again further out in time. And I'll cover that at a future date. Then, speaking of future dates, I hope you have a date to be with us today in about, 45 minutes, because Ryan Mastro and I will be presenting Navigating Earnings with UOA, which is unusual option activity. When we get a reading into earnings, I love putting on trades for that unusual option activity. There are a few things better than seeing an option go from $1 to $8 or $1.50 to $7, that kind of stuff. That's manna from heaven, my friends. We're going to show you how we do it. We're going to talk about classes that have options that are about to declare earnings, and we'll have a great discussion. The only way you can join us is to sign up on the website, Market Rebellion. You just go there, type Market Rebellion, you'll see it. All right, today, S&P was up, 29 points, 0.6%, virtually recovering all of Monday's loss, combination of yesterday and today. And there was me on the halftime show today. Here was my final trade, SOFI. Why did I buy those calls? Well, 22,000 reasons. And they didn't start by buying 22,000. They started by buying 11,000. And look at the expiration date, 2 days from now. So they're buying those 16 strike calls. They're buying them big. 11,000 is 1.1 million share equivalent. I want to ride with that wave. So what did I do, folks? Well, looking at that, they've already now doubled up on the volume we talked about earlier. We talked about the 16s. Now they're buying 1650s. They're buying all the way up to the AUG 20s. So I like following smart money. And SOFI calls certainly do seem like a smart money trade, do they not? Because look where the stock bled off from basically the first week in July when it was up north of 18 to now jumping back up to 1624. And look at the volume, 20 million shares versus 16 million average over the last 10 days. Again, I want to follow the smart money. I let somebody else who's got people like Kathy Woods and others on their side kind of let me know the direction, and then I can decide how I want to play it. And I usually play right along with the expirations they've picked. Second trade today, Smile Direct. As I said to Scott Wapner on the halftime report, hey, this was a $15 stock in January, folks. And many of you remember it as a high flyer in prior years. Smile Direct Club. Josh Brown talked about it yesterday about medical devices. And these are like Invisalign braces. So I'm not really saying Smile Direct Club needs to be considered a medical device, but I would say that a lot of people have put things off that they're now taking care of because A, they're in person more often and they want to look good, and B, they didn't do it when they were in lockdown. So anyway, August 750 call, stock was 718, where stock, well, made a nice pop to $7.50. And look at the volume, 12.2 million share equivalent Where am I seeing that? Look at that white box there that says SDC on it. Then go to the bottom. The bottom will show you market capitalization over on the far right side. It'll say the 10-day average, which is 5.8 million shares, and it will tell you how many have traded today, 12.2. So more than double a full session's average over the last 10 days, which is 2 weeks in trading terms. So what do you think is going on with Smile Direct Club? And yes, I have a big position on in this one too. SQ, why? Well, because my pal Jack Dorsey is in Square, and because he's got a lot of cool things going on with Square. Love that Jack Dorsey's doing that. Jack is a smart guy, and he was on today with Kathy Wood and Elon Musk talking about crypto. So stock was 251 this morning. They were buying again options that expire in 2 days. So what do? You either let it go, or if you play, you get ready to move fast, because they're not saying we think 2 weeks from now stock's going to be higher. We think a week from now stock's going to be higher. We think within the next 2 days the stock makes a move. Bought 7,700, which is 770,000 share equivalent. Just add 2 zeros to the end there. And that's somebody I want to follow. There's the stock. Bang! Moving through 50, which is, what strike did they buy, folks? 250. So how much do you imagine that those calls, the 250 calls, are worth with the stock trading at 257, 260? I'm sorry, 258, because 257.98 is 258 roughly. So they're worth $8. Do you think they were paying 8 earlier in the day? No, neither do I. But that's why you got to be fast. You hit stick and move, stick and move. I've taken off 75% of this position. Probably should have taken it all off, but Elon Musk and Kathy and Jack Dorsey talking about Bitcoin made me optimistic. So I left 25% hanging out there, although I did roll up to the 255s for the remaining 25%. And we'll see. Do I have to cut and let that one fade? If that stock turns around, I sure will. Or do I get to cash out higher tomorrow at 260, 265? Let's see. Volume today, 6.4 million share equivalent. And as I've said many times, Jack Dorsey, this is your opus. Twitter is not. Twitter is garbage compared to Square. Absolute garbage. This is where Jack Dorsey shows his genius. Twitter, I'm not putting Jack down for coming up with it, folks. I didn't come up with it. I'm just saying that going forward, he will be more maligned for Twitter than he will be for Square. Square is what people will say, boy, that was really forethought into that one, rather than, well, this is a taxi app that I use to hail cabs, and that's why it's 140 characters, because that's what used to pop up on the Gandalf, that it was on the taxi drivers' dashboards and so forth. I don't think that's quite the same level of genius that this one is. And he has got 3 different arms now. 1, he's got Square. 2, he's got the Cash App. And the 3rd, he's got this Bitcoin developers page that is going to be killer. So again, love you, Jack, even if people are giving you crap about your beard and that kind of odd outfit you had on. If you haven't seen it, folks, you got to see it. It's just a thing of beauty. Questions? Yeah, I got questions about Jack, but I also have answers. And if you want to send me your questions, you can send them in too at Jon Najarian over at Twitter. Let's get to it. David asks, and David's handle is at David Light Trade. Is PayPal or Square the better buy? Square! Square is the better buy. Why? Because Jack is endorsing blockchain, Bitcoin, and helping people far more than PayPal is. PayPal's a good stock. Square is a never sell stock. This is a fabulous stock that we should all have a little bit of it, at least in our portfolios. So easy answer there. Let's see, this one comes by way of @Euro SA00. What happens when Ripple versus the SEC lawsuit ends? Is XRP, which is Ripple, the one asset that no one wants to talk about, but is it the one? Efficient, scalable, cheap, green, fast settlement. Is XRP the one and BTC just the first one and nothing more? Curious if you can comment at all. I can. And what is Ripple? Ripple is charged with being basically doing an unlicensed securities offering, because what they offered was a security. That's what the SEC claims. Now, if Mr. Gensler decides to stop that lawsuit, which is, I imagine, his prerogative as SEC chair, then I'd have a whole different view of Ripple. But right now, I think that they are likely to pay a very large fine and agree with the government without admitting or denying that they did run an unlicensed securities offering. And if indeed Ripple did that, then just like you watched some of these offshore exchanges like Binance have to stop trading Apple and Tesla and some of these stocks that were listed in tokenized form on those particular exchanges, they did that because they don't want the US coming after them. You can be DeFi, as in decentralized finance, and you can be operating offshore, but you do not want the US government coming after you. And if the Treasury and the SEC decide that you've done an unlicensed securities offering and they want to come after you, nobody will list Ripple. They will take it down. So that is the risk, my friends. If you want to buy Ripple, it's pretty close to a binary event. If they pay that fine, even if it's without admitting or denying, I think the stock gets hit. And I think it'll be a big fine because they raised a lot of money. And the SEC doesn't take kindly to that or to being made to look foolish. That's my take. Wish. Tinfoil Joe, whose handle is @JOSEPHBEDIKIAN. Sounds like one of my people, right? I'm half Armenian, half Swedish. By the way, Swedish women beat the US women. I'm not happy for the US women, but I am happy for my other half of my lineage, the Swedish half. But it does still sting to see the US women go down 3-0 in soccer at the Olympics. But anyway, it's not over yet. Just that game is. Tinfoil Joe says, I wished upon a star. Will it come true? Tinfoil Joe, I believed in it too. I made a nice double on calls that I bought, took them off. And then the thing just collapsed back down to $9. Now it's back just over 10. God, this stock, I think it should be a lot higher, but there seems to be a hand just pressing down, down, down on Wish. So that's a problem. Tendies. Benny Hill, whose handle is @OPTOINS. That's not options. Doc, option paper has been running hot in BA and CCL yesterday. You're damn right it was. Square moving up with the Dorsey Wood Musk powwow you mentioned on TV. Certainly worthy of a double-fisted bang, bang. You bet it is, Benny. Stacking them tendies. Yeah, we are. I love stacking those tendies. And thank you, Benny, for giving me the opportunity to bang, bang, give the double-fisted bang. Woo! Love that square trade today, my friends. So don't forget, you want to join us at the market close today, half an hour from now. Make sure you go to marketrebellion.com. Sign up now before it's closed, because once we hit 4 o'clock Eastern, it is closed. If you also want to learn more about trading stock, options, futures, cryptocurrencies, go on over to marketrebellion.com/get started. Hey, folks, I got to get started working on my slides. I'll see you on the show in about 30 minutes. Bang. Let's get some.